Good morning, I'm Michelle. I knew Jamon for many years. Most of them he was simply my husband's best friend, just always there in the background and always a part of our lives. I never fully got to know each other, but of course completely accepted the other one was there. However, in more recent years, as I became part of their business, I came to know Jamon more personally and had my own friendship with him. Just to begin, I wanted to explain a bit about how I came to be standing here today. So, whenever my feelings get overwhelming, I usually write things down on my notes on my phone. I'd written a few words, kind of like a letter to Jamon. I wasn't actually imagining I'd show anyone, and I certainly wasn't thinking I'd be standing here on Jamon's day, but Peter read it and asked me if I would read it out. He also added quite a lot from him. So this is from Peter and me to you, Jamon. Ever since I've known Peter, you've just always been there. You were the best man at our wedding, and that meant the world to Peter, you standing next to him on our day. Of course, you were there with your family, Sandia, Johan and Joe Phil. We just never imagined those photos would now be the memory they are today. None of us can get even close to the pain your family are feeling. We know everything you did for them. If you could see them now, you'd be so proud of them all, being so strong and supporting each other. All we can promise to you is that we will look after them and be there for them forever as a family. The night before you were taken from us, on Thursday the 12th of May, the four of you, Sidhu, Jamon, Peter and VJ, you all met at the office for a meeting. Everyone was so positive because you'd just left St Matthew's, having been granted unpaid leave, ready to fully commit to Inspire Care and Halo. All four of you were so positive, making plans ready to start the next day, and all excited that Jamon was on board with his ideas and motivation. We had only recently found out such good news that Peter and I were expecting, and we wasn't supposed to tell anyone, but Peter said I had to tell Jamon. He's so glad he told him that night because he didn't know that was the last time that he would see him. Half an hour later, after the meeting at the office, Peter was in Tesco's on his way home with a late night shopping list from me, and Jamon, you were also there with a shopping list from Sandia. Even though you just left each other at the office, still you both stood in Tesco's chatting. You both got in your cars and left. Peter had his music on so loud like a small child, and Jamon was shaking his head and laughing. They both swore at each other, light-heartedly, of course, and they said see you in the morning. But of course they didn't get to see. You had a family holiday planned to go to India in July. You hadn't been to India for 4 years and the family was so looking forward to being reunited after that long. Peter and VJ were worried that you'd be gone for a whole month, and they were planning to have their own trip after you got back. Never did anyone imagine that mid-May 2022 you'd be taken from us. Thankfully, we managed to get your family here. Sandia's mother, your mummy, your papa, uncle and your sister Renji. Even though you won't be going to India, at least all your family is here together to say goodbye. Jeswin, your Uni, was like your right hand, a close bond the two of you had, and thanks to your help and guidance his path is set for life. Uni has been there with Sandia and the children with his heart and soul. He reminds us all of you. We all would have been lost without his kindness and support. The four of you, Jamon, Peter, Sidhu and VJ, were brothers in every sense of the word, friendships built on years of trust. All four of you with different strengths, but were all strong as one unit and together built Inspire Care. Jamon, you always said Sidhu already had his own empire at Apollo and how much you wanted something to call your own. So that's what they set out to do for each other and for their families. You told Sidhu stop taking stress and be part of the team, worrying about his health instead of your own. Telling VJ off that he appears a big strong man but inside he's not, and he needs guiding. He needs to be more careful how he talks. Everything you've said, they've all taken on board and put into action. All four of you all bought your new flashy cars together, all excited to buy Range Rovers. Such a happy day. All rightly so, proud of your success. Never did we think we would be here today, with Peter's brother driving his car and Peter driving yours. As for your Halo dream, and it was your dream, I mean, we all wanted it, but you were the fire behind making it happen. All through the process of setting Halo up, you were a pillar of strength. You completed your interview as the nominated individual in the middle of everything else and passed, then giving me strength and confidence to complete my registered manager interview. Through it all, I didn't realise how much your quiet presence meant to the confidence we all felt within our Halo family, or to me personally, until now. Even though it doesn't feel right at all without you there, it feels very empty. But we all have, and we all will step up and make it happen in your honour. I know for Peter, Sidhu and VJ, everything they do will be in your honour. I bought a pink plant flower from Asda yesterday, and I told Peter that we could plant it in the garden, and that would be Jamon's flower, and Peter answered, almost irritated with me, and without hesitation, everything is Jamon's. That is testament to your friendship. Through friendship, you made Inspire, and through Inspire and Halo, we made a family. In light of this, the guys have already made Sandia a director for Halo. This seemed a natural step to take over that role within the company, so both financially and through our hearts, we all remain closer as a family. With the companies and your biggest legacy, your children, Peter, Sidhu and VJ have all been taking the time to get to know Johan and Joe Phil, to get to know their characters, and we'll all be there for them, united as father figures to guide them through life and to be sure their dad's memory lives on through them. Everyone is grieving their own unique relationship with you, and everyone is missing you. I'm sure it's a question in everyone's mind, as it is mine today. Why couldn't God take someone else, one of the nasty ones? Why you? Life is so cruel and doesn't make sense. You're such a beautiful soul, and no words can ever say just how much, in our own way, we all love you. In God's hands you are now, and in God we trust. Jamon, God took you in his loving arms. He saw you needed rest. His garden must be beautiful, for he only takes the best. God will link the broken chain, as one by one we will meet again. In our hearts, he will always stay, loved and remembered every day. May you rest in peace.